Hello, my beautiful humans. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is the podcast for the week ahead, the week of November 8th, 2024. So we know that the weather changed starting in November. We know that that's true. We also know that this 10 of Swords week was devastating on so many levels, and we could feel that 10th sword slid into our spine. As painful as that is, there's no discounting the pain associated with the 10 of Swords. You don't end up with 10 swords in your back without it hurting just a little bit, if not a whole lot. It is, though, to remind you, a definitive ending. It is a definitive ending in that you don't cross back. Once this fence is erected, once this wall comes up, there is a before and an after when it comes to the 10 of Swords. The truth of it is that any illusion that you might have had about why our country was headed in the direction it is, about why we are so interested in maintaining the structures of white supremacy, that's fallen away. Like, it is just so obvious, right? That 10th blade sliding into our back is this obvious sense of something is very, very wrong here. We are invested and infected with this system of abuse and power that is white supremacy. I don't know if you like me saying this. I don't know how this lands in your space. And maybe you didn't see that. You don't see that from this week that we've just lived through. But if you don't see that, I invite you to get curious around it. I invite you to get curious around the ways that your choices might speak to fear, might speak to outsourcing your authority. Who do you think knows better than you? Who do you think that if they changed, your life would be easier or better? Who do you think is responsible for your troubles? I keep coming back to this James Baldwin conversation around freedom and love, and what he says is that no one really wants to be free. Actually, what he says is very few people actually want to be free. My work here with the tarot, with this podcast, is to help you get more free. That is not a path, that is not a road for the faint-hearted. We talked a lot in Tarot Mystery School this week about the power of the lion-hearted, the power of the 3 of Swords, the fact that when we sit with our pain, when we allow life to break our heart, we have kind of two reactions. One, we double down. We double down on protecting ourselves and developing and building structures that maybe will keep the pain at bay. Maybe will keep the uncertainty at bay. Maybe will keep us from having to work so hard just to exist in this body. There's that beautiful documentary Stutz. I don't know if I've said that to you guys before, but he talks about this idea of we spend so much energy trying to pretend that life doesn't hurt, that we are somehow in control, that we somehow can rest. Like, we have this idea of, like, even on a healing journey, even in a spiritual investigation, it's nonsense to think that you arrive at a place and then it's all good. It's not the way life works. It's not the way this incarnation works. This life is literally defined by our pain, defined by how hard we have to work just to be here and survive. It is defined by our sense of uncertainty. And anything that we're building makes us not see that. Any illusions we develop that kind of protect us from that is actually an illusion that is keeping us from our freedom and that is keeping us from love. I know that my heart is broken, but I also know that many people's hearts have been broken for a very long time. This just makes it really clear. This just makes it really clear that this is a fucked up system. And I don't care, again, how long your leash is, and I don't care if you get to stand a couple rungs higher on the ladder than everyone else. We are all infected with this disease, this sickness that lives in the bones of this country that is white supremacy. And that has been revealed to us this week. So that is the great death. The great death was any idea that we could make this okay with the systems we have in place. It sounds very revolutionary, and in some ways it is, and in some ways it's not. In some ways it's just the simple recognition that I am infected with this, and I also collude with it. So my work becomes, where do I collude in my own powerlessness? Where do I say it's okay for this person to suffer because I'm okay? Where do I agree to things because I've been given a little more room on my leash due to some privilege I have in my life. There's something about this call, this 10 of Swords, that was just a violent wake-up call to the fact that this isn't okay. Like, it's not okay how we treat this earth. It's not okay how we treat each other. And this country has a lot of work to do in terms of making reparations and building itself into a place that we can really, really call free. To be honest, as I went to draw a card, I feel a level of hopelessness that I don't often feel. And I thought to myself, what does it matter? Like, what does it matter what card I pull? But it does matter. It matters for my own practice. It matters for our own motivation to keep awake and aware and alive and engaged with the world. So when I pulled the card this week and I saw the King of Pentacles, at first I was like, what? Because what it looks like is a fat cat. It looks like a fat cat sitting on its throne with all the material goods at his feet. The challenge of the King of Pentacles is that you get so fat and heavy with your success, so fat and heavy with your material prowess that you grow into the land, that you kind of infect the groundwaters with this heaviness. And that's the first thing I thought of when I pulled the card. But I love tarot and I trust it and I stayed with it. And as I sat with it, I thought, where is your work required? Like, where is your mastery required? There is something that you are a master of. There is something that you have practiced or worked hard at to become a master of. And it can be something specific in your work. It can be something in your home life. It can be an artistic process. It can be a way of being with people. There's so many things, so many ways you can be a master. But that is true. You are a master in some domain in your life, and your hands are required. Like, your energy, your resources are required to address all of those things I just talked about, all of these things that we find ourselves in. And I'm talking about the collective when I talk about that, but that 10 of Swords also showed up in your own life. That 10 of Swords also jammed itself into your spine to say, wake up. Like, wake up. Whatever you've been lying to yourself about, whatever you've been convincing yourself of, whatever story you've been telling, this past week, some dimension of you has been like, it's time to wake up now. No more sitting back. No more waiting for someone else to solve this for you. No more sitting in your comfort as the world burns. Like, truly, truly, truly. This King of Pentacles comes in to say, what are your gods when it comes to resources and materiality? Where are your hands required when it comes to resources and materiality? The King of Pentacles has mastered the earth suit. It has mastered this sense of seeing in its most beautiful form, seeing the sacred in all things. Like, that's a key tenet in shamanism. It's a key tenet in Tantra. It's a key tenet in all mystical traditions. The world is alive. Like, you are not alone here. You are not the only energy, the only wisdom in the world. The world is rich with wisdom, and everything you encounter is alive. Every human, every animal, every tree, every laptop computer, every pillow, like, everything in your life holds an energetic value to it. And the King of Pentacles comes in and he's like, I've mastered this. I know what it means to live in the world, to harness the beauty of the world, to cultivate the resources that I've been given, and to multiply them, like to make beauty, to make plenty in the world. Both are true, that you are a master of something and that you have work to do, and that maybe you are a little heavy and complacent in some way and you have lightness to make. The King of Pentacles is a double dose of earth energy, which makes it incredibly heavy, incredibly grounding, incredibly luxurious and rich, and also stuck. It has a hard time. It's not a nimble energy. It has a weight to it, which sometimes we need and sometimes weighs us down. I wonder for you this week how the idea of money, how the idea of your resources, how this idea of all things being sacred might show up for you. I wonder how you might be confronted about the places that you're not owning your space, owning your worth, owning your resources. Where are you giving away your power? Where are you saying to someone, okay, you can be the master here, even though I might know better, even though I am actually here to kind of gather my own authority? Again, the King of Pentacles has this duality. He's both kind of heavy and fat and thick and stuck, and he's deeply, deeply masterful. And so somewhere in that world exists you your hold of this energy, your transmission, expression of this energy. Or it's a person coming into your life that holds this energy. The court cards are often representing someone outside of us. So someone coming in and saying to you, kind of being this interesting mirror, this interesting reflection of, is there something I value in that double dose of earth energy? Or have I put that on a pedestal that maybe it doesn't deserve? In some ways, materiality, comfort, resources, they can be the thing we need, and they can become kind of the soft cushion we can wrap ourselves in. You can see the energy of privilege here. You can see the energy of, I don't feel that pain. Like that pain's not a direct hit on me. I have plenty here. And so I'm okay. And I do think that part of what happened this past week is that illusion got stripped away. You realize that all the comfort in the world isn't necessarily bringing you closer to the light, isn't necessarily bringing you closer to love. It's why so many spiritual beings over time have renounced materiality, right? They've renounced the goods, the trappings of the world. There's something about the King of Pentacles that is so thick with the trappings. And I wonder what that means for you in this week ahead. But I would invite you to wonder about your resources. I would invite you to wonder about the work that you're here to do. We all come here with a medicine. We all come here with an invitation to fuel this earth, to fuel the roots of this country, of this world, with love, with power, with autonomy, with integrity. And we all have the choice to infuse it with other things. And the King of Pentacles, on his best day, says, I have so much, I have enough to share, and I have enough to protect you. I can wrap you in protection because I have enough. I just invite you to kind of investigate that energy this week and notice whether you feel yourself as the King of Pentacles, or you can picture someone around you that you feel that way. But that's just going to be a very alive dialogue this week. What is the balance between mastery, protection, divinity, sacred, resources, and getting a little fat and lazy? I don't know. That's like not normally language I would use, but that's the way this guy feels, a little bit like a fat cat. We all love a little Garfield in our life, and Garfield is not always the person you'd want on your team. So notice that for yourself. Notice the way you might insulate yourself with materiality as a way to avoid what else is happening. You are not just made of earth energy. You're made of earth energy, fire, water, air, ether. You are composed. You are an alchemical creation here. And so you want to just have a sense of, where am I a little heavy on the earth? And what other energies might need to be rebalanced in this space? Love the King of Pentacles. Like, he's generous and fantastic and always serves you a great meal. Always someone you can rely on and lean on for support when you need it. But he also is a little bit out of touch, a little bit heavy-handed. And we'll see where that leads you this week. In the most beautiful way, the King of Pentacles is inviting you to take power over your resources, take power over your mastery, take power over your work in the world, to fully dedicate yourself to your work. And I mean that capital W, work. That invitation is here this week, and maybe part of what you'll see are the things that have kind of seduced you with comfort and kept you away from the truth, the true call of your heart, the beautiful medicine that you've actually come here to make and to gift to the world. I love y'all. I know that you're in pain. I know that I'm in pain. And I know that the earth is with us. So this idea of putting your feet on the earth, putting your hands on a tree, watching the stars, watching the sky, watching the leaves blow in the wind, when the human world disappoints us, I promise you that nature is always there for you. I promise you that nature will never fail you in resetting your beat. Like resetting your heart, resetting your harmony and your rhythm with life. It's always available to you. That is the beauty of this incredible, incredible planet we've been given. All right, so much love to you. May you have the support you need, the love you need, and may you feel this next week a sense of what you'll do next and how you will bring your beautiful hands to gather more love, more freedom, more possibility, more sacred reverence to your communities, to the world, to each other, to yourself. Love you. Check you later. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.